Yeah, RNC Chairman Michael Whatley. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I mean, when you came in this morning, I said this. So we always have something to talk about with you. But it seems like at some point Democrats would see the errors of their ways and change. Get on the 80-20, get on the 80 side. Yet once again, here you go, Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom on the wrong side of everything.
They're doubling down. They're doubling down on the fact that this is the culmination of the Democratic immigration policies, right? The fact that Joe Biden brought in 15 to 20 million illegal aliens, housed them in places like Los Angeles. When we have issues of going in and arresting folks and taking them out, which the American people voted on, all of a sudden you have these riots, and then you see Gavin Newsom, you see Mayor Bass out there defending violent criminal illegal aliens, not defending their own citizens.
Yeah, and something that President Trump always does really well, he's proactive. And it just seems that Gavin Newsom, Mayor Bass, we saw this with the wildfires, we saw this continue, with lots of things that happen in California. They're very reactive, and the only thing they seem to be saying is blaming President Trump, and they're upset because Trump actually wants to keep the people in LA safe by bringing in the National Guard.
Yeah, President Trump was elected on a mandate, right? Obviously, the economy had a whole lot to do with his election win, but violent criminal illegal aliens being in the United States was a huge part of this. And he said very clearly, we are going to deport these people who should not be in the United States. And right now, the only message we're hearing out of Democrat leaders in California is, if you'll just leave us alone, we won't riot. If you just don't come in and arrest people who need to be arrested, then we will not riot. That is not acceptable. We saw this before in terms of Minneapolis. We saw this in other places around the country where weak leadership led to bad consequences. President Trump is a strong leader. He is going to follow the mandate that he won in 2024, and we are going to remove violent criminal illegal aliens from this country.
And I wonder if this is not a lesson learned from the Trump first term, because obviously during the first term, during the George Floyd riots, he really wanted the governors to ask for the federal government's help, and they were late, Tampon Tim, late to the game, late to getting things done. It made the riots worse. This time he offered them the opportunity. They said no. He just jumped in.
That's exactly right. And we need leadership right now. What we don't need is Los Angeles to burn down like Minneapolis did. And we need to make sure that we are taking violent criminal illegal aliens and removing them from the United States. It's not just an election mandate. This is about our kids. This is about our communities. This is about our families. It's about our economy. And the president has been very clear throughout the entire course of the election and his second term here that this is a priority for all of America.
All right, I want to pivot now. Let's go to Capitol Hill. We're in week 2 of the sprint, to get President Trump's July 4th deadline. We're going to see, obviously people are talking about it. Do you see this happening by July 4th, or do you see it going into maybe August?
It may move into August. Yeah. It needs to be done in July. It needs to be done. Look, the fact is that this is the American agenda. This is America First agenda, President Trump's agenda in one bill, right? We need to make sure that we're going to rebuild our economy. This bill is essential for that. We need to restore the southern border. We're working on that right now with ICE, but this has provisions in there for ICE, and it has provisions to finish the wall. We need national security changes and additions. That's what this bill has. So you look at every single aspect of what President Trump ran on, it is embodied in this bill, and we need to get it done.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, too, and maybe this is a messaging issue, but with the rescissions being now, because obviously the one big beautiful bill can only deal with mandatory spending. The rescissions package is the beginning of the DOGE cuts. It's the beginning of those other cuts. They can't be included in the other one. Put them together, and you've got everything that fiscal conservatives have been wanting for years. Cutting spending, cutting mandatory spending, increasing border security defense, and taxes. It's all right there.
Could not agree more. And when you talk about taxes, let's talk about making sure we extend the Trump tax cuts. That's $10,000 per family for low-income families. We're talking about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and Social Security relief, taxes for seniors, right? This bill is the American agenda right now, and we need to get it done. It's also an inflection point, because if this bill doesn't get done, then we're going to have the largest tax hike in American history. Every single Democrat in the House voted for the largest tax hike in American history, and every single Democrat in the Senate said they're going to do the same.
That's such an important talking point that you said that I think a lot of the media has been ignoring. That is huge. I want to talk now very quickly about Elon Musk, because we saw what happened Thursday and Friday. We were wondering if things were going to change over the weekend. Just your thoughts about what's going on between the president and Elon Musk.
Well, it's very disappointing. I mean, obviously, Elon had a lot of contributions that he made to the campaign and he made in terms of helping us set up the Doge process. But the fact is, there's one president. And right now, it is his agenda that is going to control. There's no excuse whatsoever for what we saw on social media last week. The fact is that we are going to get this big, beautiful bill done. The American people voted on it, and Congress needs to stay focused right now. And we need to focus on making sure that the priority is the bill.
And if whoever spent the most money decided who president was, you'd have had President Hillary Clinton and President Kamala Harris. It's about the message. It's about the policy. And so they'll get it patched up. I've seen way too many of these feuds. They come back. They end. All right, Mr. Chairman, thanks for joining us.